Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate you. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to my fifth classic horror movie review of October 2022. This is my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Came out in 1985, directed by Jack Sholder. This classic 1980s horror sequel stars Mark Patton, Kim Myers, Robert Russler, Hope Lang, Clu Gulager. Once again, Freddy Krueger is played by the iconic Robert Englund. And the story in this one is a bit different than the formula set up in the first movie, which is why right away, just story-wise, this movie has a bit of a dip in quality. Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger continues to be the main attraction because he's so good in the role and so fun to watch. Even though he's being a bad guy, you kind of root for him just a little bit, even though he's scary. But in this one, it's not like the later ones where he really played up that angle of being the MTV fun loving Freddy. In the first couple of movies, especially this second one, Freddy's a darker character. I really like and appreciate when filmmakers attempt to make Freddy darker and scarier, and that's something that I always enjoy a little bit more than the campier, silly version that we get later on as the movies would keep going. And in this movie, they get really experimental too with the makeup effects, the special effects in terms of like Freddy appearing out of someone's body, because this one doesn't really have a lot to do with Freddy and dreams, but more like Freddy possessing our main character and actually inhabiting his body and coming out of it at one point. And when that scene happens, it looks freaking gnarly. And one of the best things about the movie is the makeup effects. Our final boy in this movie is the character of Jesse, played, of course, by Mark Patton, who I think did a really good job in this role with what he was given. It wasn't the best script considering what they did with Freddy in terms of the whole possession thing. But with what he had to work with, I think he really sold the part, in terms of acting out those scenes where he had to pretend like Freddy was inside of him. And the dialogue in those scenes, woof. The way the character, the main final boy, is played, it very much feels like someone that is kind of in the closet. The scene where the gym teacher catches Jesse drinking at the Blue Oyster Bar and he makes him run laps at school at night, and then all of a sudden Freddy decides to show up and makes the gym teacher like strip down naked, has him slapped up against the wall, tied up with jump ropes, and Freddy starts slapping his ass with the towel like boys in the locker room. Yeah, that's comedy, and it's a bit on the homoerotic side. So I'm pretty sure that that was intentional. You couple that with the scene where Jesse goes to Grady's house because he just left Lisa's house because they were making out, and Freddy began to, show up and come out through Jesse. And so Jesse's afraid that Freddy's gonna come out and take over, and you get dialogue like, he wants to take me again, he wants to come out, and he's gonna take me. And, there are, you know, undertones there. For the mid 1980s, for a movie that would be the first sequel in a series that would be one of the big mainstream horror franchises, that's pretty progressive and kind of revolutionary. The scene where Freddy does pop out in the open, like in real life, because this movie breaks the rules, and apparently Freddy can just come out in real life and mess with us and kill us in person. That scene is awesome. Even though it breaks canon from the first movie, I always enjoy that scene, and it's one of my favorite moments in the film. There's also a pretty good scene in this movie that's pretty tense that pays homage to 1963's The Birds from Alfred Hitchcock. That's very fun to watch and actually kind of suspenseful the first time you watch it. Something else I really appreciate about this one is that there is plenty of Freddy actually using his glove, taking people out, and also using it to scare people, like at the beginning of the film when the movie opens and he's cutting these seats one at a time as he gets closer and closer to his victims on a bus, keeps cutting the seats on the bus, just slashing away at them. I always prefer seeing Freddy using the glove to take out his victims instead of when he does it supernaturally using like Freddy powers, which at times can be entertaining because sometimes the ways he does it is kind of creative, and the way he uses people's like fears or uses pop culture references against the youth is always interesting. Ultimately, though, I think the glove is the real reason why, as a kid, I was always afraid of Freddy Krueger. And even as a little kid, having watched these movies, I did have those nights where I would have a nightmare about Freddy every now and then, which made the character even scarier when I would revisit him. And, growing up, you get less and less scared because you get desensitized, but doesn't change the fact that the effects in here, the gore effects, still look great, still incredible, especially in the scene where Freddy rips off his head and you see the brain pulsating, and it's a very cool effect in the movie. This movie has a weak ending, and ultimately it kind of messes up the rules that were established in the first film when it comes to the character of Freddy, but I do have a lot of fun with this movie. I like the cast, I like the kills, and I really do enjoy it in the end. And so I got to give this movie 3 stars. Positive, you can find this on streaming, and it is October, and so I'm sure there's going to be some service out there with a collection of the Freddy Krueger movies. And with Halloween coming up, you can't go wrong with any of the films in the series, except for the weaker ones, of course. But this one for me is still kind of middle of the road in terms of ranking the films. So yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, 1985. Definitely check it out. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I very much appreciate it. If you're into the classics, if you're into movies, if you're new to the channel, hit the bell, become a subscriber. I'm a horror movie freak, and I'll be talking horror movies all month long because Halloween is my favorite holiday. I will be uploading more classic horror movie reviews all the way till the end of the month, all the way till the 31st. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for your support and your views. I very much appreciate it. Everybody take care of each other. Till next time, stay safe, peace out, and God bless.